Well, hello and welcome to this informational session about becoming a volunteer at the TESOL International Convention in 2022. My name is Susan Meyer and I'm joined here today by Ying Zheng. And also we have another co-host, which is Lin Feng, and she might be arriving soon, but we're going to go ahead and get started so we can make use of our time today. Today, we will be providing a general overview of the conference organization, and we'll be describing how you can take part. We won't have time for questions today because of the limited time we have, but we will provide our contact information at the end of the presentation. So don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. As you probably know, the 2022 convention will be here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Three Rivers TESOL is the host affiliate. So serving as host brings a lot of opportunities to take part in the convention in a different way. You can be a volunteer in addition to our normal routes of being a presenter or a participant. So today, we will give you an overview of the conference. As you may know, the annual convention is huge. It has more than 6,000 attendees, over 900 education sessions, and over 150 exhibits. However, the TESOL central office has the logistical operations procedures, and they've divided these logistical procedures amongst different paid and unpaid divisions. So we're going to focus today here on Three Rivers TESOL. And one of Three Rivers TESOL's initial goals was to appoint local co-chairs for the convention, or LCCs. Myself, Lin, and Ying were appointed to this position, and our responsibility generally includes recruiting, supporting, and working with volunteer teams. Specifically, the LCCs help shape the goals and activities of local teams and serve as liaisons with the TESOL entities.
Okay, so we as the local co-chairs, three of us, will help recruit initial volunteers who will serve as the team leaders, and there are 9 teams in total, and each one of us will oversee 3 teams. These positions have specific foci, and the team leaders shape the goals and activities of the teams to meet the goals. Through review team reports from previous conventions in communication with us, and they will also recruit, train, and supervise volunteers to accomplish team goals and document their efforts and write a post-convention report. Today, each of us, well, I guess it's just Susan and me, we're going to explain a little more about the teams and how we're going to support them, tell you the suggested timeline for preparation. And I will also let you know how you can become a lead team leader. As we speak, don't let the idea of recruit volunteers scare you. As we discuss later, TESOL will provide majority of the volunteers for the conference itself. At this moment, team leaders may not have team meetings with the volunteer until the conference itself. So the team leaders' initial work may be as individual working with us and the relevant TESOL entities. Okay, so the first team leader, that is the bag and program distribution team leader. This team leader oversees the distribution on convention bags and program books at the convention, including planning bag pickup station, staffing of 15 or more volunteers per day, some recruitment of volunteers, preparing volunteers for duties, arranging backup volunteers when necessary. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 12 months prior to the convention. While the 2022 convention will have some hybrid features, we're expecting we'll have a lot of in-person sessions. This is usually the largest team to oversee, and often this is often attendees' first point of contact on site. So it's a great place to make a strong first impression on attendees.
The hospitality team offers assistance to attendees who need to know more about the conference, for example, information about sessions, events, locations, and or about Pittsburgh, for example, local attractions or where to dine. This team leader schedules volunteers for the Ask Me volunteer posts, hospitality booth staffing, and escorted dinners. The team leader recruits people who are familiar with the locale. In this case, recruit probably does really mean recruit because, of course, it's easier to have people talk about Pittsburgh who are from the area. And note also that representatives from the city's City Visitors Bureau will be also on site. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 6 months before the convention. And if you are Pittsburgh proud, this might be the way to show it.
Okay, the educational visit team leader identifies educational unique programs in Pittsburgh, and that will be interested to TESOL attendees. The team leader assists TESOL with the selection of 5 or fewer sites, contact with the individuals in the programs, tour setup, submission of tour details to the website. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 12 months prior to the convention. The team leader has a great opportunity to show your familiarity with community ESL programs.
Suzanne, I'm here now. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we are at, someone else is moving the PowerPoint as well. I'll just take care of that. So if you could stop moving the PowerPoint, we'd stay on the same page. So we are currently talking, Lynn, about the Tea with Distinguished TESOLers.
Yeah. So the Tea with Distinguished TESOLers features a host who is someone recognized in the field of TESOL at a table with 9 other participants for a discussion on a pre-selected topic. The Tea with Distinguished TESOLers team leader helps identify potential hosts and discussion topics by coordinating with the conference's professional council, and you will see it as CPC. The team leader also oversees arrangements of the teas at the convention. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 14 months prior to the convention. This team leader should be aware of prominent speakers and trends in the field. And next is the networking sessions team leader. And this position plans and organizes networking sessions and recruits volunteers to run the area, which is usually held in a large area of the expo floor. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 9 months prior to the convention. The networking session team leader enjoys communication and idea exchange. Over to you, Ying.
Okay, the pre-K-12, I guess the previous slide. Yes, okay. The pre-K-12 day, team leader responsibilities prior to the convention include assisting the TESOL office with building session strengths, choosing topics, and finding local speakers. At the convention, the team leader and volunteers oversee practicalities like session room prep, admission, troubleshooting, evaluation. Room monitor volunteers can attend session free of charge. Suggested timeline for this position begins about 12 months prior to the convention. If you want to be the team leader for this, at this strength, you have to have some K-12 background for sure.
All right, the pre and post convention team leader and volunteers handle practicalities associated with the PCIs. This includes room prep, admission, troubleshooting, evaluations. Room monitor volunteers can also attend PCI sessions free of charge. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 6 months prior to the convention. This team leader should have a flexible schedule to allow for pre and post convention attendance, as well as an interest in professional development. The poster session team leader oversees the poster sessions area at the convention. The team leader organizes the running of the poster sessions venue. They track the presenters each day, including presenter sign-in, recording no-shows. They ensure cleanup of the poster session area. A suggested timeline for this position is about 6 months prior to the convention. And this team leader combines organization with professional development. All right. The last team leader position is the volunteer team leader. The volunteer team leader oversees the recruitment and placement of volunteers. The duties include assessment of needs, like how many volunteers are needed in different locations, as determined by local planning teams, the other 8 teams we've referred to. Recruitment of volunteers, but as Ying mentioned earlier, there's about 250 volunteers needed in total, but 3RT is not responsible for recruiting all of those people. About 99% are provided by TESOL, and the remainder are local volunteers. The volunteer team leader discusses the placement and, oversees the placement and management of volunteers, including initial scheduling, no-show replacement, and other troubleshooting, and distribution of special gifts. A suggested timeline for this position begins about 6 months prior to the convention, and this team leader should be organized and probably able to use a spreadsheet.
So please consider volunteering as a team leader and don't let the amount of information here overwhelm you. TESOL, Three Rivers TESOL, and we here, 3 of us here, will provide you with more information and guidance later. In addition to the experience of contributing to an international conference and making Pittsburgh the best hosting city for attendees, the conference registration fee is waived for team leaders, so it's a great benefit.
If you're interested in a team leader position, you can express your interest via this survey, which I'm posting in the chat. If you complete the survey, you can, what you'll do in the survey collects your contact information. You can express interest in up to 3 areas of team leadership, I guess. You can include some information about your organizational capabilities. There's an open-ended question where you can talk about what capabilities you have that are specific to the position for which you're interested in volunteering. This is more like, these are not necessarily your professional qualifications, but what it is that could help demonstrate that your skill set is appropriate to the task at hand. The survey also verifies that you are or will be a TESOL member, which is a requirement for team leaders. The survey also verifies your commitment to writing a post-conference report. The survey also includes brief descriptors of the different team leader positions, but also this PowerPoint and a recording of the session will be available to you if you need to review further. The survey closes in 1 month at midnight on November 15th, and then the team leader appointments will be announced in December.
So thank you very much for your attention today. We encourage you to volunteer to be the team leaders. If you have any question, we have our emails listed there. Please don't hesitate to contact one of us. Thank you so much.